Hi guys, and welcome to this video on Venus retrograde. We're in the middle of one at the moment, so I thought I'd give you some more information on it just so you have an idea of what Venus retrograde is all about. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. A lot of people are familiar with Mercury retrograde. I think that's the most famous one. And in astrology, we have three personal planets: Mercury, Venus, and Mars. And then we have five outer planets: Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And all of them retrograde. And a retrograde doesn't mean the planet is actually going backwards, but just the orbit of the planet around Earth. From our perspective, when it slows, it looks like the planet is going backwards. And when a retrograde occurs, it's time for us to reevaluate the things that have to do with that planet. So Mercury is the communication planet of perception and ideas and communication and decision making. And that retrogrades 3 or 4 times a year. And that makes sense because that's the thing that moves most quickly in our lives: contracts and what is said and communication and conversations. So the fact that we have 3 or 4 opportunities to reconsider what is being discussed and what is seen as the correct information is a good thing. Venus retrogrades once every 18 months approximately, so once every year and a half. And that also makes sense because most of the relationships we have, Venus is the planet of love and beauty and creativity and prosperity and money and having more than enough and plenty. Most of those types of relationships last longer. So whether it's a romantic relationship or a business partnership, reevaluating that once every year and a half or so is a good idea to make sure that you're asking the right questions. Is this relationship still appropriate for me? Have I outgrown this? Is this a partnership that's balanced and equal, or does something need to change? Mars retrogrades every 26 months, so every 2 years, approximately every 2 years and 2 months. And Mars is the planet of masculinity and drive and ambition and getting things done. And it makes sense that that retrogrades least because on planet Earth, we all have to keep moving. We have to get things done. We have to pay the bills and do the heavy lifting and build buildings and create new businesses and keep forward momentum. Otherwise, things come to a standstill and there would be no progress. So let's focus on this specific retrograde then. The last time Venus went retrograde was on the 30th of October 2022, and it stayed in retrograde until the 12th of January 2023, and it was in the air sign Gemini. So in astrology, the planet is the energy in itself, and the sign that it's in is how that energy is expressed. So during that retrograde last time, Venus was looking at what is it that I love to communicate, what are my ideologies that I love and my values and my beliefs, and how do I express those, and are they still on point? And now I have an opportunity to reconsider and to re-examine those and whether they still make sense to me in my life and whether they're productive. So now we have this Venus retrograde from the 1st of March until the 12th of April. And in this case, it's in retrograde at the beginning. It's in Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. It's a fire sign. That's the sign of the ram. And it retrogrades back into Pisces on the 27th of March. And Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's a water sign. And it's much more about looking at the bigger picture. So the way this works, this retrograde, the mechanics of it, is that the planet then goes direct on the 12th of April, but it's still in Pisces, and it stays in Pisces until it re-enters Aries on the 1st of May. And then it's very much about Venus, love, prosperity, beauty. I'm in the first sign of the zodiac again. I want to express my love. I want to create things that I find beautiful, and I want to make money and create prosperity and do all of these things. So with this one, it's an opportunity to reevaluate your existing relationships, but even more so, it's an opportunity to re-examine your own relationship with love, desire, romance, and financial security, and whether the things that you've wanted in the past still make sense in the present, or if you've accomplished certain things and you no longer need to focus on those, or maybe you've outgrown a desire for a particular type of connection and you can let that go now. It's interesting in the sense that, certain relationships in our lives are going to be really useful and helpful. Let's say I meet another person who's my equal, who's a partner, and who empowers me to become the best version of myself, then that's a great relationship that I want to maintain. And that when I evaluate that, I'm going to say, it's amazing, it helps me out, it allows me to grow, I'm going to hang on to this, and I'm going to keep engaging in this relationship, right? But then also there are relationships with substances, for instance, via addiction. So, for instance, if you have a relationship with a painkiller, which you absolutely love, you may feel that this eases my pain, and I need to maintain a relationship to this substance in order to get through this period of healing. So if I've had surgery, or if I've had a tooth extracted, or whatever it may be. But if that relationship is still in place a year later, once the actual physical ailment is healed and you're still taking painkillers, then it's a good idea to evaluate that relationship, because that may have graduated into an addiction, and that then will cause you physical harm. It's not going to be what initially it was intended to be, and it's something that needs to be let go of. So when Venus goes retrograde, it prompts you to become more introspective, and it asks you to reevaluate the way you show up in your relationships, the type of relationships that you have, and it also prompts you to reevaluate and reflect on the way you create an income for yourself, the way you create financial security for yourself, and how you can provide for yourself and others. So rather than thinking, oh, Venus is in retrograde, I'm going to make mistakes starting with new partners that are unsuitable for me, or starting businesses that are designed to fail. Instead, it's an opportunity to say, is this still the best way to move forward? So for instance, my current job, is that still the best way to create an income and to pay my bills? Or is there something that I have now learned in the meantime that I could use to create more of an income, or to create more abundance and prosperity for myself? Or again, and this may sound a little heartless, but this partner that I had, and I started a relationship with, let's say at the age of 18, now 6 years later that we've both grown and developed, is this still a relationship that promotes growth and where there's real intimacy? Or has it kind of run its course? Has the spark kind of gone out of it, or has it just become a habit? And is it maybe time to do something about this relationship, and either to let go of it or to work to improve it? So the retrogrades aren't just there to kind of make our life more complicated and difficult and to cause us inconvenience, but they give us an opportunity to look at what's going on in our lives and to make sure the things that we're engaging with are still appropriate and still useful. So during a Venus retrograde, because you're considering what could be and you're considering what already is, it's the perfect time to come up with new ideas for businesses, to make changes to your relationships, or to try different types of relationships, to experiment a little bit and to say, this is what I've already got. Maybe I feel like something is missing, or I have a longing for more. Maybe I'll try this out and see if it works or not. The key thing is not to kind of sign up to anything permanently, and just to operate with a bit of a light touch and to say, I'm trying this out and see how it fits me. Like if you're going to the store and you're trying on different outfits, and you go to the changing rooms and see if they actually fit and how they look on you. You're not immediately committing to purchase that thing, you're just trying it on. Also, what this does until the 12th of April, it gives you an opportunity to contemplate your own values and the relationship you have with yourself. It's about self-love, working with the inner child, and certain ideologies that you may have embraced and adopted for yourself. Are those still helpful, or do they cause you to censor yourself? Are they beliefs and systems of seeing the world and yourself that allow you to grow, or that are toxic and that minimize you and that keep you in a box? So this is an opportunity to disengage from things that you think you love that actually no longer kind of love you back. And then it's easier during a Venus retrograde to let go of things that don't offer you anything in return. If you're an artist, if you're someone who works creatively, Venus also being the planet of creativity, if you're an artist or a designer or a sculptor or a composer or a performance artist, or you use any kind of creative expression, one, it's a good opportunity to try out something different and to see if you're good at that as well. Or it's a chance to look at doing those things, whether it's writing the music or painting the paintings, to try a different technique, a different approach, and to see what the outcome is and whether you love that and whether it's an upgrade from the work that you've already done, or whether you should go back to the way you usually do things, whether that's the best way. So ultimately, it's an opportunity to experiment and to tweak things a little bit so that they suit you in the here and now, and also moving forwards. So if you are an artist and if you usually work with watercolors, then maybe try acrylics. Or if you usually write, maybe try drawing. If you usually do fashion design, maybe try interior design and see if there are things that have changed within you that then would have a different outcome when it comes to what it is you produce creatively. What also happens often is that old relationships can often reappear. So people who you went to school with, or people you were in relationships with, they may kind of come back into your life and either send you a request on Facebook or send you an email or something. And it gives you the opportunity to connect again. And the same thing applies. You're able to assess and to say, is it a good idea to let this person back into my life? Was this a good relationship? Have I grown? Has the other person grown? Would it be a good idea to rekindle this relationship, or should we leave it in the past? So it's the question of, what is it that I connect with? Who is it I connect with? And what is the ideal situation for myself and the other person right now? So as this particular retrograde occurs, Venus starts in Aries, and Aries is a fire sign that's ruled by Mars, the planet of ambition and drive. So Venus in Aries is aggressive, it's impatient, it's action-oriented, it's focused on overcoming obstacles, and it likes to get what it wants. So not only does it slow down from the Earth's perspective, but it also slows down because as this retrograde continues, Venus moves back into Pisces, which, if you're thinking momentum when it comes to the signs, Aries has all the momentum in the world because it's the first sign, it's dawn, it's sunrise, it's like, I've got the whole day ahead of me, what am I going to do with it? Whereas Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and it's really the end of the night, and it's about hindsight, and it's about looking at what's going on in your life and saying, this is the journey I've been on, and what has worked for me and what hasn't. And it's much wiser because it's already completed the journey, you see. So with this retrograde, not only can you examine who and what it is that you love and what you get out of relationships, but you're also able to look at how you show up in relationships and how you can give more of yourself and be more of a loving force and add more of a positive contribution to the relationship that you're in, and how you can be more selfless and be a force of good and love. There are lots of different types of love as well. I mean, there's the type of sexual love, which is all about passion and intimacy and closeness. But there's also altruistic love, you know, through working with charities or giving of yourself. Or then there's love for friends, where you enjoy other people's company, and a way of loving them is to do things for them that makes them happy. So all the different types of ways that you love in your life, whether it's love for your own inner child or love for family members or partners or locations, places in the world, you're able to re-examine those and see if it still fits or whether you need to graduate on to other things. And in this case, Venus going from Aries and shifting back into Pisces on the 27th of March, it's a change from physical love and examining that first and foremost, and then looking at spiritual love. And the focus shifts from the individual, so the person I'm in a physical relationship with, and it expands towards the collective. And it asks you how you can be a loving influence in society. And you may think this sounds a little bit much, but how can you share your love to make the world a better place and to add something positive and loving to the greater whole, to humanity, to the collective? So ultimately, this Venus retrograde is a time of reflection that prompts you to evaluate or to reevaluate old patterns. It prompts you to evaluate your own self-worth, how you feel about yourself, and what your contribution is to the greater whole. So I just wanted to mention that because we're smack in the middle of it right now. I hope that gives you a little bit more of an idea of what this Venus retrograde is all about. If you would like me to look at your personal chart, your natal chart in a personal reading, then please get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. To draw up your birth chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then that's not the end of the world. I can use sunrise, even though that means that the ascendant and the house placements aren't correct. Because of that, there's a process called chart rectification, and that's where you send me 10 or more significant life events that have happened in your life, and then I'm able to manually work out your time of birth so that the ascendant and the house placements are accurate. So if you're interested in that, please do get in touch with me for that process via gregoryscott.com. In a personal reading, what I do as well is I look at the natal chart, but I also look at the progress chart and the transits to see what's coming up in future. If it's around your birthday, I draw up a solar return chart, which shows me the key themes happening from your birthday this year until your birthday next year. And there's also something called astrocartography, which allows me to see which parts of the planet work well for you and which ones don't. So it's based on your natal chart, so it's static, but your natal chart and your progress chart and transits, all of that is me on Earth looking up at the sky and seeing how the planets are placed. The astrocartography reverses that process, and I am positioned in the sky. I look down at planet Earth, see how the planets were moving over different parts of the Earth, and how different locations are then going to influence you permanently. So whether Barcelona works wonderfully for you, or whether New York is a better idea, or whether Paris is ideal. So if you have any questions on that, or questions around your own personality, your own strengths, weaknesses, or you're interested in seeing what's coming up in future this year and beyond, then please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. That helps it show up in searches. Subscribe for future videos, and please share this video as well. That's what helps the channel grow. I also do a daily tarot reading on this channel, so if you'd like to watch that, then please become a member of the channel. And that's it. So I hope that's given you an idea on Venus retrograde. I hope you're able to come up with a lot of useful ideas and come to a lot of useful conclusions during this period. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will speak to you soon. All the best.